Okay, so, wow. We've got a really interesting one for you all today.
Yeah, this is cool.
We got sent, like, this whole stack of stuff, articles, videos, even some forum threads, it looks like, all about Mars.
Someone's doing their homework.
Right. And it's not just like, oh, cool, Mars. It's next level stuff. Like, can we actually live there? Should we?
The whole terraforming thing. It's a popular topic. Always gets people fired up.
Totally. And I gotta admit, some of the stuff in here kind of got me thinking, too, like, what if Earth,
Yeah.
you know, isn't an option forever?
It's not as crazy as it sounded a few years ago.
Yeah, no, not at all. So for this deep dive, let's break it down. First up, terraforming. Transforming a planet to make it livable for humans.
Sounds straightforward when you put it like that.
Easy peasy, right? Just give a planet a makeover. But seriously, can we actually terraform Mars?
Okay, so your sources are spot on about the challenges. The atmosphere. Way too thin. Barely there, really.
Yeah, and no magnetic field to speak of, right?
Pretty much. And that's a biggie. Earth's magnetic field, it's like our force field, protects us from all that nasty radiation from the sun. Mars, not so much.
Right.
Bakes the surface with radiation.
Makes it a tad hard to work on that tan, huh?
Just a bit. And then there's the temperature. Brr.
Yeah, it's not exactly balmy there, is it?
Let's just say pack a parka and maybe a heated spacesuit. It's really, really cold, like average temperature around minus 60 degrees Celsius.
All right, so not exactly a weekend getaway destination then. Our source material had a bunch of ideas about how we might overcome these problems, like releasing greenhouse gases to thicken the atmosphere, or giant mirrors to warm up the surface even, and this one's my favorite, smashing asteroids into the poles to release water.
Ambitious, to say the least.
It all sounds so, I don't know, sci-fi, right? Like, is any of that even remotely feasible?
Honestly, it's incredibly complex. I mean, we're talking about planetary engineering on a scale we can barely comprehend. Imagine trying to, I don't know, turn the Sahara Desert into the Amazon rainforest.
Okay, yeah, that's a lot of planets.
Exactly. It's not impossible, necessarily, but the sheer scale of it, the resources we'd need, the time it would take, it's mind-boggling.
Right, so we're not booking our one-way tickets to Mars just yet.
Probably not this week, no.
Fair enough. But that brings up another point from all this stuff we were sent. Why bother? Even if we could terraform Mars, why go through all that trouble?
It's the million-dollar question, right?
Totally. But, I mean, the sources do have some compelling reasons. Scientific discovery, for one. Mars could hold clues about the early solar system, maybe even the origins of life itself.
It's like a time capsule right there next door, cosmically speaking.
Yes.
Untouched for billions of years.
Exactly. And then there's the whole resource angle. Minerals, water ice, maybe even stuff we haven't even thought of yet.
Which, if we're talking about becoming a multiplanetary species, is a conversation we need to have.
Totally. But let's be real, a big part of this Mars fascination, at least from what we got sent, is this idea of, I don't know, a backup plan. Like, what if something catastrophic happens to Earth?
The whole apocalypse insurance idea, it's gaining traction. And it's not entirely unwarranted. I mean, look at what we're doing to this planet.
Yeah, not great.
Not great at all.
Yeah.
And beyond that, there are always external threats we can't control. Asteroid impacts, solar flares, you name it. Earth is a bit of a sitting duck, cosmically speaking.
Sobering thought. So would you go to Mars, I mean, if Earth was, toast?
It's a tough one. On the one hand, the chance to be a pioneer, to help build a new home for humanity, that's incredibly appealing.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine being one of the first people to set foot on a truly alien world?
Exactly. But on the other hand, leaving everything you know behind, everyone you love, it's a huge decision with no guarantees.
And who knows what kind of challenges those early Martian colonists would face. Talk about hardship.
For sure, it wouldn't be for the faint of heart. And that's not even getting into the ethical dilemmas. Who gets to go? Who gets left behind? What happens to the people already there, if any? These are huge questions with no easy answers.
You know, one thing that really struck me from all this material is how much we still don't know about Mars.
Oh, absolutely. We've learned a ton in recent decades, but it's just scratching the surface.
Yeah. And even if we never terraform Mars, even if we never set up a permanent base there, just studying it teaches us so much.
Absolutely. About planetary science, about climate change, heck, even about the early history of our own planet. Mars is a natural laboratory right there waiting for us.
A laboratory that might hold the key to our future? Who knows? Maybe one day we'll be the Martians.
Stranger things have happened.
So, is Mars in your future? It's a question worth pondering. Maybe the real question isn't if we'll go to Mars, but when. And more importantly, what role will you play in that incredible journey? Something to think about, folks. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We'll see you next time.